You're very welcome to Online Yoga with Yoga Mara, and today we're going to begin on our bellies and we're going to come up onto all fours, bringing knees underneath hips, hands underneath shoulders, and bring the big toes into touch. So walking the knees out nice and wide, you're going to bring the knees either side of the yoga mat. Take a nice deep inhale here, lengthening out through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, gently starting to send your sit bones down into your heels as you slowly start to walk the hands forward as you melt the belly and chest down into the mat. Forehead can rest down into the ground. And if the forehead doesn't reach the ground, you can place both fists on top of each other. So just allowing that head to connect with something. Allowing a slow release of tension from the forehead, from the mind. And taking this time to really soften into this pose, into this resting pose, Balasana. Noticing that slight opening in the inner hips. And on your inhale, slowly starting to reach the hands forward as you reach up towards the top of your yoga mat. Lengthening the side body, stretching out the shoulders. And as you exhale, sinking your sit bones down into the heels, deepening the stretch in the hips. And just taking this moment now to fully connect inward. Drawing your attention to your breath. Feeling the new breath draw in. And the stale energy draw out. Feeling your body supported on the floor. Noticing the areas in which you carry tightness or tension in the body. Sending your breath directly to that point. Taking this moment to connect back into the heart center. That center part of the chest. Your heart chakra. As you melt the chest down, melting the heart center down into the ground. Bringing your awareness back to that point. Seeing that heart center in all of its glory, in its green, vibrant light. As you inhale, noticing how that light glows and spreads across the body, across the center of your chest. Spreading that feeling of love, compassion, and kindness to yourself. With every inhale, seeing that light get bigger and bigger as it expands around the whole body, shining into every cell. Bringing love and kindness with it. And on your next inhale, when you feel ready, gently start to bring your gaze up towards your hands and pushing up onto the palms. You're going to walk those hands back in underneath shoulders. And from here, as we bring the knees underneath the hips, we're going to extend both legs out nice and long. So we're coming up into a high plank. Taking an inhale as you separate out the shoulder blades, keep the elbows really close together. And exhale as you slowly lower all the way down into the mat. So belly and chest down into the ground. From here we're going to reach our left hand out in front. Face the right palm up towards the ceiling. And gently we're going to start to tuck that right hand in and underneath the left armpit, underneath the left shoulder. So we're going to come onto that outer edge of our right shoulder as we reach the right hand towards the left side. Reach that left hand forward on the inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to start to bring that left armpit closer down into the mat. And what you'll notice is a lovely stretch and opening on the right shoulder. Your gaze can be down into the mat, your forehead can rest down into the ground. Breathing deeply here. So it's a variation of thread the needle pose. Inhale as you walk that left hand all the way forward. Exhale as you tuck left armpit down into the ground. stretching out that right shoulder, right side of the neck. And breathing deeply here. Noticing if you're holding tension in the legs, if you're tensing, relaxing the legs, relaxing the back. Just moving and working the shoulders. Taking one more cycle of breath, inhale. And exhale, send that left arm a bit closer down into the mat. On your next inhale, gently walking that left hand back towards the left shoulder, releasing right hand from underneath and stretching the right hand all the way out. And from here we're going to reach forward as we kick back, so find that lovely length in the body. And then gently placing right hand down into the ground, we're going to flip the palm of the left hand and start to thread that left hand in and underneath the right shoulder, right armpit, coming down onto that left shoulder. Inhale as you lengthen and reach up with that right fingertip. And exhale as you slowly start to draw right armpit down into the mat. And a gorgeous stretch all along the left shoulder, the left side of the neck. Breathing into it here, relaxing the lower body, relaxing the back, relaxing the thighs. Just feeling and moving that right armpit down, stretching out the left shoulder. Breathing deeply. Let's do one more cycle of breath. Inhale. And exhale, slowly starting to bring that right arm a bit closer down into the mat. And on your next inhale, gaze up towards your right hand. Walk the right hand back closer towards the right shoulder. And release the left hand away from underneath the right armpit, stretching the hands forward, kicking the legs back. And then exhale to slide out. Inhale, walk the hands back, placing hands underneath the shoulders. Elbows really close in towards the body. Shoulders are drawn away from the ears. Taking an exhale here. Inhale as you slowly push up onto the palms, going into a baby cobra. So keeping this stretch really nice and slow and small, keeping the elbows bent and just lifting the chest and collarbone up off the mat, keeping the belly down into the ground to begin with here. Finding a gentle stretch, moving the shoulders down and away from the ears. Baby cobra. Exhale, slowly start to lower down into the mat. Inhale, coming up for baby cobra. Gentle stretch in the spine. And exhale, slowly release back down. On the next inhale, we're going to walk the hands back slightly, so hands come out either side of the ribcage. Elbows draw in towards each other, shoulders loop down away from the ears. On your next inhale, you're going to push up onto the palms. This time, keeping those elbows bent, but the belly starts to move up off the mat. Push down into the fingertips, keep the shoulders away from the ears, elbows close towards the ribcage, and the belly comes off the mat. Exhale to slowly lower. Gently warming up all the vertebrae. Taking an exhale here. Inhale, slowly push up, keeping those elbows bent, finding a deeper stretch in your cobra pose. And exhale. Slowly lower. Well done. So keep the hands exactly where they are. Keep the elbows drawn in, keep the shoulders rolled down away from the ears. And as you inhale, you're going to push up. And this time opting to start to straighten out those arms. So really extending the arms all the way up. So shoulders over elbows, elbows over wrists. And this time your hips will hover above the mat. Finding your full expression of cobra pose even. Stretching out that lower back. Your gaze can be forward or all the way up. Exhale, bend down into those elbows and slowly lower. Let's go for one more deep inhale. Coming all the way up, finding full expression of cobra. Draw those shoulders away from the ears, push down into the fingertips. Relax the glutes, relax the thighs, just feeling that stretch in the spine and the lower back. And exhale, gently melting that upper body down into the ground. Well done. From here, pushing yourself up all the way into all fours, finding your tabletop position. And from tabletop, we're going to slowly start to send sit bones down to the heels, keeping the knees really close together. Allow the chest to come down onto the thighs, and allow the hands to draw around the ankles, forehead down into the ground. Finding another variation of Balasana, your child's pose. And just taking a moment to find your neutral spine. Counterbalancing those lovely back bends. Just going back to your breath. And back to that present moment where you draw all of that awareness inward. And on your next inhale, gently starting to bring your gaze up towards the front of the mat. Walk the hands out in front, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips, finding tabletop position. From here, plant down into the tops of feet, fingertips press down into the ground, shoulder blades separate out. Inhale as you send belly down into the mat, shoulders up to the ears, gaze comes forward. Exhale, start to round the spine, push the hips forward, elbows draw in towards each other, crown of the head hangs heavy. Inhale, coming up for cat. Exhale for cat. Inhale, coming up for cat. Exhale for cat. Let's do one more deep inhale. Drawing those hips up, bringing the gaze forward or all the way up. Shoulders away from the ears. Exhale as you round the spine, push the hips forward. Gaze comes down behind the legs. And then on your next inhale, coming back towards your neutral tabletop position. Good job. From here, keeping the hips above the knees, we're going to slowly start to walk the hands forward. So coming down onto the forearms, finding your dolphin pose to begin. And from dolphin pose, we're going to reach the chest down. So what we want to do is make sure that the hips are above the knees and it's just the upper body that melts down. So this is Anahatasana pose, our heart melting pose, or puppy pose. So we're really stretching out the shoulders here, bringing that chest down towards the mat. And this is a great one to correct any roundness that may be in your shoulders. It also creates a much more supple spine. And the key to this pose is breathing very deeply. Breathing into that space where you feel that stretch in the shoulders as you melt that chest down into the ground. Let's do one more cycle of breath here. On the next inhale, gently pushing back up onto the forearms, coming back to your dolphin pose. And then slowly pushing back up onto the palms, finding tabletop position. From tabletop, tucking the toes underneath. Inhale as you push down into the fingertips and hug the knees above the mat. Keep those knees bent. Exhale, slowly lower the knees back down. Inhale, push down into the fingertips, push down into the tops of the feet. And slowly start to hug the knees above the mat. Exhale, bring the knees back down into the ground. On the next inhale, this time sending the hips up really high, extending the legs. And then from here, drawing the heels back, finding your first downward facing dog. So pedaling the feet out here, warming up the backs of the legs. And maybe bringing right foot behind left heel, stretching out the back of that left leg. And switching sides, plant down into that right foot, bringing that left foot behind the right heel, stretch out the back of that right leg. And then going back to your full expression of downward facing dog. Often to start to draw that chest back towards the thighs. Often to also take a really generous bend in the knees, keeping the heels off the mat as you draw that chest back to thighs. Finding your own variation that fits you this morning, that suits how you're feeling. Tuning into your body and listening to what it needs. On the next inhale, keep your gaze back between your feet. And then slowly from here, we're going to start to walk the hands all the way back to the feet. So keep walking those hands all the way back. Have a nice low hang with the head, crown of the head hangs down heavy. Option to start to bring a micro bend into the knees if you wish. And from here, option to clasp onto each elbow with opposite hand. Rocking from side to side, finding your ragdoll pose. Loosen out that lower back. And on your next inhale, releasing the hands down. Exhale as you plant down into the palms. On the next inhale, you're going to walk the hands all the way back, coming into your high plank. So walking the hands all the way forward towards the top of the mat, high plank. Inhale here. Exhale as you drop down into the knees, flatten the tops of the feet, and lower the chest and chin down into the mat, followed by the belly. Inhale as you push yourself all the way back up, finding your full expression of cobra, hovering the hips above the mat. Exhale, tuck your toes underneath, send those hips up high, draw the heels back, downward facing dog. Breathing into it here. On your next inhale, slowly walking those hands back towards the feet. Keep that nice Uttanasana, that forward fold, allowing the crown of the head to hang down heavy, taking a bend in the knees if you need it. Breathing here. Exhale to side out. On your next inhale, slowly walking those hands all the way up towards the top of the mat, coming back to your high plank. Hold it here in high plank, deep inhale. Exhale, lower knees, flatten the tops of feet, and then lower chest and chin down into the mat. Inhale, push up for cobra. Hovering those hips above the mat. Shoulders over elbows, elbows over wrists. Exhale, tuck the toes under, send the hips up high, draw the heels back, downward facing dog. Allowing the heels to plant down into the mat. Well done. On the next inhale, walking those hands all the way back towards the feet. Keeping the legs extended or taking a micro bend. And from here we're going to either bring the hands towards the ankles, around the shins, or you can loop your two-piece fingers around the toes, or you can, if you're more flexible, you can stand onto the palms with the feet. And take a nice deep inhale here. And as you exhale, gently starting to draw that chest down towards the thighs as you send the elbows out, left elbow out to the left, right elbow out to the right. Feeling that deep stretch in the back of the legs. Inhale, slowly coming up for your halfway lift. And exhale as you gently start to bring the upper body back down towards the thighs. Let's do one more deep inhale. And exhale. Drawing that upper body down towards the legs. Feeling that gorgeous stretch in the back of the calves, the hamstrings. Inhale. And exhale as you plant down into the palms. From here, inhale as you slowly start to draw the palms all the way up the front of the legs. Coming up vertebrae by vertebrae. Crown of the head to come up last. Finding Tadasana. From here we're going to walk towards the centre of our mat. Come into your mountain pose, Tadasana pose. Rooting down into the four corners of each foot. Lifting up through the inner arches, so you're sending your energy up from the inner arches up to the knees, lift up from the kneecaps, engage those legs, engage the core. Draw shoulder blades together as you open up the chest and heart. Breathe deeply. Finding your strong, grounding, rooting pose. Finding your balance. And from here, making your way all the way up towards the top of the mat. Inhale as you sweep the hands all the way up and overhead, gaze at the thumbs. Exhale as you start to swan dive, so reaching the hands all the way out nice and wide, coming into forward fold Uttanasana. Inhale, sweeping up, halfway lift to Ardha Uttanasana, hands to shins or to thighs. Exhale as you forward fold, planting both hands down into the mat. Right foot comes back, left foot comes back. Take an inhale and plank. Exhale to lower knees, chest and chin, down into the mat. Inhale, pushing up for your cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes under, draw the hips up high, send the heels back. Downward facing dog. Finding that nice fluidity between the vinyasas and really allowing your body to flow from pose to pose using each breath. Exhale, side out. On the next inhale, bring your gaze up between your hands, and this time you can step, hop or jump the feet up to meet the hands. Inhale, sweeping up for your halfway lift. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up and overhead, gaze towards your thumbs. Exhale, release the thumbs towards heart center. Going back to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Taking a nice deep breath here. Check it in with your heart rate, check it in with your body. Which areas are still needing to loosen up. And let's go for round 2, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, reach the arms up, bring the gaze towards your thumbs. Exhale as you spread those hands nice and wide, swan diving forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, drawing hands towards shins or all the way up to thighs, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, folding forward, planting both hands down into the mat. Right foot comes back, left foot comes back. Option to take a different variation of your vinyasa, so going into your challenging Chaturanga Dandasana. So from high plank, instead of dropping knees, we're going to shift the weight forward, shoulders over wrists. Exhale as you slowly lower and hover the body above the mat, keeping those elbows really close to ribcage. Inhale as you flatten down into the tops of the feet and push yourself all the way up for upward facing dog. In upward facing dog, similar to full cobra, shoulders over elbows, elbows over wrists, but this time the knees and legs hover above the mat. It's just the tops of the feet and the palms that rest down into the ground. Exhale, tuck the toes under, send the hips up high, draw the heels back. Downward facing dog. Keep bending the feet out if the backs of the legs are still quite tight. Or maybe you're noticing a new openness found in the body. Stretching it all out. Taking a cycle of breath here. And on your next inhale, we're going to come up onto the tippy toes. And this time slowly start to draw the right foot up towards the sky. As you exhale, bend right knee, tuck it into the chest, wave the body forward, shoulders over wrists. Place right foot in between both hands. From here, we're going to turn onto the outer edge of our left foot. So left foot is parallel to the back of the mat, keeping the right toes facing up towards the front of the mat. Lead with that left hand as you sweep the hands all the way up, coming into warrior 2. So just taking a moment to check your alignment, so making sure right ankle is above, or right knee is above right ankle. We're pushing down into the outer edge of that left foot. So taking a nice wide stance, and the hips are nice and square, so it's as if we're in between 2 panes of glass. Our arms are reaching out, they're in line with the shoulders, so just check your backhand, making sure it's in line. And this is a really nice, strong pose. So we're keeping that balance, keeping that warrior energy. You can see your big right toe, your front foot, from where you're standing. And just taking a nice deep inhale here. Exhale to side out. On the next inhale, we're going to start to extend and straighten that front leg. At the same time, bringing both hands to touch above the head, gaze up towards the thumbs. Exhale, drawing back down into warrior 2, leaning into that front knee, reaching the arms out at shoulder height. Inhale, reach up, straighten that front leg, gaze at the thumbs. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, warrior 2, so you can go a little bit deeper. Lunge a little bit further. Let's do one more deep inhale. And exhale. Holding it here. From here, we're going to flip the right palm. Inhale as you reach back with our right hand, bringing left hand towards left shin or left calf. Inhale, coming back, warrior two. Exhale as you start to hinge that upper body forward, plant down into that right forearm and bring left hand up and overhead. Bringing in your side angle pose. Inhale, coming back, warrior two. Exhale as we reverse the warrior, sweeping the right hand back. Inhale, warrior two. This is a great one to start opening up the side body, really stretching out the obliques, and just creating that lovely openness in the torso. Inhale, come up, warrior two. Keeping that stability with the legs. Exhale, reverse the warrior. And a nice fluid movement as you're dancing warrior sequence. So using this time now to use your own breath, guiding your movement. Maybe you want to speed it up, maybe you want to slow it down, making it more fluid, making it more mobile, whatever feels good for your body. And when you're ready, we're going to come back towards warrior two. Holding in here, deep inhale. And exhale, you start to windmill and cartwheel the hands down, turning onto the left toe, so toes face up towards the front of the mat. And from here, we're going to land down onto that left knee, flatten down into the top of the left foot. Walking the right foot out slightly towards the right side and bringing right hand inside right foot. Plant down into the left fingertips. Inhale as you twist towards the right side, reach up with that right hand. Beautiful spinal twist in our runner's twist pose. Inhale to lengthen up through those right fingertips. And as you exhale, so you can start to open up the back of that right hand towards the left side. Open up the shoulders here, open up the chest. Keep those hip flexors working as you stretch out that left hip flexor. And exhale, slowly drawing that right hand down, framing the right foot, elevating left knee, stepping right foot back, taking your vinyasa, whether you want to come back to drop knees or take your chaturanga dandasana, shoulders over wrists. Exhale to hover. Inhale to push up for upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale for downward facing dog. Taking a cycle of breath here. On the next inhale, coming up onto the tippy toes, and this time starting to draw the left leg up towards the sky. Exhale as you tuck left knee into chest, wave the body forward. Left foot comes inside, both hands. I'm just going to turn towards the opposite side so my back doesn't face you. So keeping that left foot in between both hands, turning on to the outer edge of that right foot, so right foot's parallel to the back of the mat. Cartwheeling the hands all the way up. Reaching that left hand over that left knee. Looking back, making sure the right hand is aligned with the right shoulder. Planting down into the outer edge of that right foot. And keeping left knee above left ankle. And making sure you can also see your left big toe from where you're standing. So if you can't, you're just going to start to move that thigh over to the left side. Beautiful. Take an inhale. Exhale, side out, let it go. Good job. Deep inhale. And exhale. On the next inhale, gently starting to straighten that front leg as we bring both hands to touch, gaze up towards the thumbs. Exhale, lunging into your warrior two. Inhale, straighten the leg, bringing both hands up and mudra up above the head. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale. Breathing in that gorgeous warrior energy. Exhale. Getting you ready for the week ahead. Inhale. Exhale. On the next inhale, we're going to flip that left palm. As you exhale, reaching back with that left hand. Reverse the warrior. Inhale, coming back towards warrior two. Exhale as you hinge the upper body forward. Plant down into that left forearm and reach the right hand up. Side angle pose. Inhale, coming back, warrior two. Exhale, reverse your warrior. And taking it away into your dancing warrior sequence. Going at your own pace. Feeling it in the body. Creating that lovely fluidity, open up all four sides of the torso. Gorgeous one to start strengthening and stretching out our obliques, as well as keeping our strong balance and stance Open up the hips. And when you're ready, on your next inhale, coming all the way back, finding warrior two. Exhale here. Deep inhale. And exhale as you windmill the hands down, framing that left foot, dropping down onto that right knee, flatten into the top of the right foot here. And so we heel toeing that left foot out slightly to the left side, bringing the left hand inside your left foot. Plant down into the right fingertips, and inhale as you slowly start to draw left hand up towards the ceiling, reaching up, looking at the fingertips. Finding your runner's twist. Exhale as you slowly start to open up the left hand, so reaching the left hand over towards the right side. Open up the chest, open up the shoulders. Feel that lovely stretch in your right hip flexor. Lunge down into that left knee. Loads of different parts of the body being worked here. Take an inhale. And exhale, slowly start to lower. And this time framing that left foot. Lifting the right knee off the mat. Left foot comes back, finding your high plank. Taking your toes of vinyasa, whether you want to drop knees or go full chaturanga dandasana, shoulders over wrists. Exhale to slowly hover above the mat. Inhale, pushing up for cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Plank down into the feet. Taking a cycle of breath. And exhale. Taking an inhale as you come up onto the tippy toes, drop down onto the knees. And from here, bringing the big toes towards touch. Walk the knees out nice and wide. And slowly sending the sit bones down into the heels as you walk the hands forward, melting the chest down into the ground. Melting the forehead down into the ground. Coming back to your balasana pose. Breathing deeply into it here. Allowing everything to start to slow down. Bring that attention back inward. Focus on the breath. On your next inhale, gently starting to bring your gaze up towards your hands. Push up onto the palms. Walk the hands back in underneath the shoulders. Knees come back in underneath the hips. Tuck the toes under. And inhale as you hug the knees above the mat. Hips up high. Exhale. Heels come down into the ground. Downward facing dog. On your next inhale, gaze up between your hands. This time you can step, hop or jump all the way up to meet them. Inhale, finding your halfway lift. Exhale, folding forward. Chest comes down towards the thighs. Inhale, reach the hands all the way up and overhead, gaze towards your thumbs. And exhale, thumbs to heart center. Coming back to Tadasana, well done. I'm going to turn around and face the other way there once again. Breathing nice and deeply. Slowing everything back down. Listening to your heart rate. Listening to your body. Does it feel more open? More grounded? How do you feel now versus how you felt when you first began this practice? Connecting with that. Let's go for a round for you. Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up and overhead, gaze towards your thumbs. Exhale as you hinge forward, allowing chest to come to thighs. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, sweep up, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, folding forward, plant both hands down into the mat. Right foot back, left foot back. Taking chaturanga if you wish. Shoulders over wrists. Exhale to hover above the mat. Inhale, coming up for upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Plant down into those heels. Taking an inhale here. And on the exhale, we're going to start to reach our left hand over towards our right ankle and take a gentle twist towards the right side. So your torso is going to twist over to the right. Inhale, coming back towards your full downward facing dog. Exhale, reach right hand towards the left ankle. Take a gentle twist. Inhale, coming back, full down dog. Let's go again. Inhale, reaching Or exhale to reach left hand over towards the left or right ankle, twist it towards the right. Inhale for down dog. Exhale to twist. Right hand towards the left ankle. Inhale, coming back towards downward facing dog. Taking an inhale as you come up onto the tippy toes. And from here we're going to walk right foot over left, left foot over right, right foot over left, left foot over right. Bringing the feet up to meet the fingers, meet the hands. Inhale, sweep up for your halfway lift. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale as you sweep the hands all the way up and overhead, gaze at the thumbs. Exhale, hands to heart center, thumbs into sternum. Breathing deeply here. Listen to that heart. Feeling it pump all that fresh oxygenated blood around the body. Feeling that new energy. Refresh your mind, refresh your body. And when you're ready, releasing both hands down. We're going to come towards the center of the mat and taking a nice big wide stance. So pushing down into the outer edges. So the toes turn in slightly, the ankles are, or the heels send out a little bit further, wider than the toes. Getting all tongue-tied. Take a deep inhale as you reach the hands up overhead. As you exhale, bring your palms together and draw your thumbs towards sternum. Take an inhale here. And exhale as you slowly start to hinge that upper body forward. So allowing the chest to draw down towards the ground. Running your wide-legged forward fold. Plant both hands down into the mat. Once we get here, option to start to send the feet out a little bit wider if you have the capacity to do so. And either remain in here or you can start to walk your hands all the way back behind you. So allowing that forehead to draw down, the crown of the head to come down towards the mat. And that gorgeous stretch all along the inner thighs. Right all the way up into the hips. Breathing deeply. Inhale. Exhale so you can go a little bit deeper. Inhale as you slowly start to walk the hands back out in front. So you're going to place the right hand down right in towards the center of the mat. On the next inhale, you're going to twist towards the left side as you reach up with that left hand. Wide-legged twist. Exhale, slowly start to bring that left hand down, plant left hand down into the mat. Inhale, twist and reach up with that right hand. Exhale, plant right hand down into the mat. Inhale, twist and reach. Exhale. Inhale, twist and reach all the way up. Exhale. Let's do one more on each side. Inhale. And exhale. Last twist. Inhale, reach. And exhale. Well done. From here, we're going to bring both hands towards the hips. Taking an inhale as you slowly start to draw that upper body all the way back. And from here, we're going to heel toe the feet in a little bit closer till we're just a little bit wider than the hips and the toes face out, the heels face in this time. So we're going to come into our yogi squat. So a really nice wide-legged squat, or also known as our goddess pose. So what I want to do is make sure that we're pushing that pelvis forward. So we're really tilting the pelvis forward. And we're sinking the sit bones down towards the ground. So finding that really strong stretch in the inner hip flexors and all along the inner thighs. Rooting down into the four corners of the feet. Take an inhale. Exhale as you start to extend the legs, bringing hands towards touch. Center of the body. Inhale. Bringing the hands overhead. Sinking down into the sit bones. Exhale. Straightening the legs. Bringing hands towards touch. Inhale, coming down into the goddess pose, reaching the hands up overhead. Exhale. Let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale. Well done. From here, heel toe the feet back in, finding your Tadasana pose. And taking a nice deep breath. Good job. So coming towards the top of your mat. We're slowly going to come down on towards the sit bones. And from here, bringing the soles of the feet together. Slowly starting to walk back onto the elbows. And then slowly allowing the spine and the back to fully rest down into the mat. Often just start to draw the heels up a little bit closer towards the pelvis, allowing those knees to hang out in our butterfly pose and finding a lovely soft stretch, a nice resting pose to calm and soothe everything back down. Allowing your attention to draw all the way back in towards your heart center. Option to place one hand over your heart, one hand over your belly. And taking this time to really feel what's going on in your body. Feel the difference between this moment and your first child's pose at the beginning of your practice. Noticing if you feel more open, more aware of your body, your breath. Letting everything go as you exhale. And breathing in that fresh, new energy to start off this new week. Exhale, releasing negativity, stale energy. Inhale, new, fresh energy. From here, you can place both hands down either side of the hips as the palms face up. And then slowly start to extend both legs out nice and long, finding your Shavasana pose. Savasana, we're allowing anything that we've been carrying around that feels heavy, that clouds us, that brings a darkness to our day. Just allowing yourself to drop all of that weight down into the mat. Release it from the mind and from the body. And for you now to just concentrate on this moment and being still, being present, breathing deeply with intention. To bring some movement back into the body, maybe wiggling the toes and the feet. And taking a stretch overhead as you reach back with those hands. And exhale, bend into the knees. Turning over onto one side, finding the fetal position. Keeping the eyes closed here if you wish. And then inhale, just slowly push yourself all the way back up. Coming back towards a cross-legged position at the top of your mat. Inhale, sweeping the hands all the way up and overhead, bringing palms to touch. Exhale as you draw thumbs towards heart center and tucking chin to chest, finding a gentle stretch in the back of the neck. And just taking this time now to show your gratitude to yourself mainly for turning up onto the mat, giving your body and mind mindful movement to set you up for a wonderful day and a wonderful week ahead. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed your practice. We'll see you soon. Namaste.